Hello, friends, welcome to the Hight Mountain channel. Today, I'll be discussing how the dopamine detox videos you see on YouTube are actually explained incorrectly and how you can address your real dopamine issues. I've prepared a very informative video for you. If you subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up, it would make me very happy. Now, let's get into the video. Have you ever felt lost? Do you have trouble focusing? Are you finding less pleasure in small things compared to the past? Are you endlessly scrolling on social media for hours with your phone in hand? Would you like to know the reason behind this? Come on, let me tell you about your dopamine. A term that has become commonplace for everyone, dopamine. I really like dopamine. I also hate the concept of dopamine detox. You might have heard a definition like, dopamine is a hormone involved in regulating processes related to reward and pleasure, on social media. However, that's not quite accurate. It's an incomplete definition because it doesn't only control pleasure and reward. Evolutionarily speaking, our brains reward us when we do things that ensure our survival. We feel great when we have sex because our brain thinks we are reproducing. You love the taste of that greasy, sugary hamburger because you believe it will keep you full for a long time. Our brains know what is good, not what is beautiful. That's why we can never get enough of fast food, soda, or endless scrolling on social media. That's exactly what we call dopamine addiction, our brain's constant desire to reward us leading us down the wrong paths, developing an excessive attachment to things we enjoy. Now, let's put pleasure aside and define dopamine that way. Dopamine is a hormone released by the brain to encourage us to repeat a behavior. Dopamine can also lead us to behaviors that we won't enjoy. You might ask, why would I do something I don't enjoy? For example, you played a card game 10 times, lost every time, and didn't enjoy it. The next day, you're playing the same game again. You spent 6 or 7 hours scrolling upward on social media without knowing why. Did you really want to spend 6 hours scrolling upward? While on vacation, have you ever heard someone say something like this? "Ah, I wish I were at home right now, just sliding up without thinking." Have you ever wondered why a message on your phone or that red heart on Instagram makes you so happy? Isn't it just a notification? This simple notification triggers a small burst of happiness in our brains. The name of this burst of happiness is dopamine. Now, how did I fall into the clutches of this dopamine? At that time, my life was bombarded with notifications incessantly, thanks to the entry of Instagram and Twitter. This led me into an indescribable emptiness. I lost my ability to focus. While I used to be able to read books for hours, now when I moved from one page to another, I would forget what was written on the previous page. By the way, dopamine addiction is not limited to social media. For example, gambling. Gambling can be quite enjoyable. But if you dive too deep into it, your life can take a turn for the worse. A glass of wine can be beneficial to the human body. However, excessive consumption is quite harmful. Similarly, using social media can be very entertaining. But if we go overboard, it seriously disrupts the balance of our dopamine system. Sola dosis facit venenum, which translates to, the dose makes the poison, emphasizes that everything is a poison, but the key is in the dosage. Now, individuals who fail to find the right balance and disrupt their dopamine levels become victims of instant gratification through things like video games, smoking, alcohol, gambling, pornography, and the like. They don't consider the long-term and never incorporate delayed gratification into their lives. What could delayed gratification be? For instance, going on a diet and seeing weight loss or gain after 6 months. Enrolling in a fitness program and consistently exercising for 8 months to achieve the desired body, or obtaining a certification at the workplace that will benefit them a year later. Learning to play a musical instrument after navigating through intricate paths. Unfortunately, in the fast pace of the modern era, we often succumb to the allure of instant gratification. We expect an instant response to a message and want to watch a movie with just 3 clicks. However, things that deeply affect our hearts usually require time and effort. Getting lost between the pages of a book, overcoming the challenges of a project, saying our first sentence in a new language, "Teacher, I am waiting for the bus, is it said like this?" Ich ward auf die Busen, the shocking sound of the classroom. What happened? These moments are the real wealth of our lives. Instant gratification might make you happy for a day, an hour, or a second. But things that truly nourish our souls require more time and effort. In this journey called life, we should steer ourselves towards things that truly make our hearts beat. So, how do we rid our bodies of dopamine? There is no getting rid of dopamine from our bodies. Do you know what causes Parkinson's disease, for example? You become a Parkinson's patient when dopaminergic neurons in a certain part of the brain disappear. So, what's the point? We are not trying to get rid of dopamine from our bodies. Because dopamine is one of the factors that determine our behaviors, learning, motivations, attention, sleep, sexual impulses, mood, and the milk secretion in female individuals. Now, why do I hate the concept of dopamine detox? Because, in my opinion, we cannot use the word detox when talking about dopamine. Because the word detox comes from the word detoxification, which, in turn, comes from the word detoxification. The meaning is to rid of poisons and toxins. Dopamine is not a poison. Dopamine is not a toxin. Dopamine is a very essential hormone. I am currently watching videos. I did a dopamine detox for 24 hours, and my dopamine levels returned to normal. However, there is not much of a relationship between dopamine detox and dopamine levels. In fact, this situation is related to dopamine receptors. Please pay attention to this point. Our brain has a fascinating feature. For example, you entered a bathroom and encountered a bad smell. But 30 seconds later, you get used to this smell. Our brain makes us feel the effect of the external stimulus by reducing it. Or right now, we put on a hat, and we feel the presence of the hat. However, if we continue talking, we will stop feeling the presence of the hat. In other words, the effect of the stimulus will decrease over time. There is a similar logic in dopamine receptors. Let's say, on January 1 you started a new computer game and enjoyed it immensely. You played for hours every day for a year. Is the pleasure the game gives you on December 31 the same as on January 1? No, because for a year, you have been constantly exposed to the same stimulus, and your brain has reduced the effect of this stimulus on you. How does one become a dopamine addict? Here's how: you start university, you're going to study at night, and you've never had coffee in your life. To stay awake at night, you drink a cup of coffee. You continue drinking coffee. In the beginning, you'll stay awake at night because of caffeine. But as time passes, if you keep drinking coffee every day, you'll start being able to sleep at night. Your brain will get used to the effect of caffeine. If you continue to drink coffee until the next exam period, you'll start drinking 2 cups of coffee to stay awake at night. Then, you'll keep drinking 2 cups, then 3, 4, 5. It becomes a vicious cycle. What we need to do is break this cycle and reset our dopamine receptors. How do we do that? Let me tell you what I do. We do a dopamine fast for at least 2 weeks, not a detox. By the way, 2 weeks is not a very long time to do this. You'll really see the benefits. Please try it. During the dopamine fast, we stay away from things like social media, YouTube, computer games, alcohol, music, and pornography. We never consume these. Also, you need to be prepared for quite a bit of boredom during these 2 weeks. I recommend planning your days in advance to reduce your boredom. Go for a walk, read a book, go to the grocery store, clean your room, don't order food from outside, cook your own meals at home. Exercise. Meanwhile, you can plan your time and watch 1 movie a day or 2 episodes of a series. Similarly, you can set aside a specific time each day to just listen to music. However, during that allocated half an hour or an hour, you'll only listen to music, you won't do anything else. Play board games like Monopoly, Risk, Taboo with your friends. To make this process easier, you can try to get a friend to join you in the dopamine fast. You can even subscribe and share this video with your friends so that they can take steps to improve their life too. You can acquire a new skill, and most importantly, in this dopamine fast, don't blame yourself too much if you make a mistake. Oops, I just realized that I've stopped feeling the hat right now. I can take it off. Because you are human too. You can make mistakes too. What you're trying to do is very difficult. But rewarding, that's a different story. Now 2 weeks have passed. You did it. What are we going to do now? I think you don't want to go back to your old life. Now you're silencing the notifications on your phone, especially those of social media apps. But how will my friends reach me if there's something urgent? They'll call in case of an emergency. If they're messaging on WhatsApp, let them call and tell you. If you're playing a computer game, you're playing it at a certain time of the day. If you're watching a movie, you're watching it at a certain time of the day. A sound mind in a sound body. You start exercising. If you can't exercise, you start going for a daily walk. By doing these things, you've embarked on a journey to organize your life by changing your habits. Major media companies in the world spend billions of dollars to make us addicted to their products and services. You must protect yourself against this. 10 years ago, we used to turn to the internet to escape from real life. But now it's time to return to real life to escape from the internet. Take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, no one else will.